You don't need these pills, Kate. It's all in your head, Marcus said, holding my prescription bottle just out of reach. I'm helping you break free from these chemicals. Trust me, vitamins are all you need. My name is Kate Sullivan, and at 28, I never thought I'd have to defend my mental health to my own stepbrother. I'd been managing my depression successfully for 3 years with medication and therapy, building a promising career in marketing, and finally feeling like myself again. Then Marcus moved back home. Give me my medication, I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. This isn't a joke. He smirked, that same condescending smile he'd worn since our parents married 5 years ago. I threw them out last week, been replacing them with vitamin D and B12. Haven't you felt better, more natural? The room spun. Last week, suddenly the increasing anxiety, the sleepless nights, the creeping darkness at the edges of my mind. It all made horrible sense. I'd attributed it to stress over my upcoming presentation at work. But now, you did what? My voice cracked. Marcus, those medications are prescribed. You can't just what? Help my stepsister. Mom and George think it's great that I'm looking out for you. They agree you've been dependent on these pills for too long. My father, George, had always been uncomfortable with my depression diagnosis. He'd married Marcus's mother 2 years after my mom died, and somehow, his new perfect family didn't have room for mental health issues. The presentation is tomorrow, I whispered, feeling the panic rise. I need my medication, please. Marcus pulled out his phone, opening the camera. Tomorrow will prove I'm right. You're stronger than you think, Kate. Once you get through it without these crutches, you'll thank me. I rushed to the bathroom, searching the cabinet frantically. Empty prescription bottles stared back at me. How had I not noticed the pills looked different? But they were the same size, same color. Marcus had planned this carefully. That night was hell. Without my medication, every fear about tomorrow's presentation amplified. I was leading a pitch to our biggest potential client, a project I'd worked on for months. My team was counting on me. The company was counting on me. Morning came after hours of tossing and turning. I got dressed mechanically, trying to ignore the trembling in my hands. Marcus was in the kitchen, filming as I made coffee. Day 1 of Kate's freedom journey, he narrated, breaking free from Big Pharma's control. I wanted to scream, to throw something at him, but I couldn't risk proving him right about my instability. Instead, I grabbed my keys and left without a word. The office was bright, too bright. Every sound felt amplified. Keyboards clicking, phones ringing, conversations buzzing. My team's encouraging smiles looked like grimaces. The client representatives arrived, their faces blurring together. I started the presentation, my carefully prepared slides swimming before my eyes. Halfway through, explaining our marketing strategy, the room began to spin. My heart raced, thoughts scattered like leaves in a storm. The metrics show. My voice sounded distant, strange. Someone asked if I was okay. I wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. Then I saw him, Marcus, standing at the back of the conference room, phone raised, that same smug smile on his face. He'd followed me to work to film my breakdown. That's when everything shattered. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The room tilted sideways, and darkness crept in from the edges. The last thing I heard was my supervisor calling for help as I collapsed. I woke up in the hospital, the steady beep of monitors replacing the chaos in my head. My father and stepmother were there, looking concerned but uncomfortable. Marcus stood in the corner, still filming. See, he said triumphantly. This proves how addicted you were. Your body's just detoxing from all those chemicals. The doctor who walked in next changed everything. Dr. Sarah Martinez, head of psychiatric services, took one look at Marcus's phone and called security. Get him out, she ordered. And someone call the police. We have the blood work results. Marcus's smile finally faltered. Police? For helping my sister get healthy. Doctor. Martinez turned to my parents, her expression grave. Your son didn't just replace her medications with vitamins. The blood work shows something far more disturbing. Dr. Martinez's words hung in the air like a thundercloud. The blood work shows traces of multiple substances. None of them vitamins. We found sleeping pills, anti-anxiety medication that wasn't prescribed to her, and most concerningly, traces of something that appears to be experimental. My father's face went pale. Experimental. Marcus stopped filming, finally looking uncertain. I don't know what she's talking about. I got the vitamins from my natural health store. Natural health store. Dr. Martinez's voice was sharp. Mr. Sullivan, your son has been systematically poisoning your daughter with a dangerous combination of medications. The vitamins he gave her contained compounds that aren't even legally available in this country. Security arrived to escort Marcus out, but he fought against them. You don't understand. I was documenting her recovery. I have a whole YouTube channel planned. Breaking free from Big Pharma. Kate was going to be my first success story. I lay there, trying to process what I was hearing. Marcus hadn't just taken away my prescribed medication. He'd been experimenting on me for social media content. My stepmother burst into tears. There must be some mistake. Marcus runs a wellness blog. He studies alternative medicine. He wouldn't, Mrs. Sullivan. Dr. Martinez interrupted. Your son ordered unregulated substances from overseas. We've already contacted the FDA. This isn't about alternative medicine. This is about deliberately endangering someone's life for internet fame. The police arrived shortly after, taking statements and evidence. They confiscated Marcus's phone, which contained not just today's footage, but weeks of secret recordings. He'd been documenting my deterioration, narrating it like some twisted wellness transformation story. Look how agitated she is, his voice said in one video, filming me pacing at 3 a.m., unaware I was being recorded. These are the withdrawal symptoms big pharmaceutical companies don't want you to see, but soon she'll be free. My father finally spoke, his voice hollow. Kate, I had no idea. He told us he was helping you reduce your dependency naturally. We thought. You thought what, Dad? My voice was stronger now, anger replacing the fog in my mind. That my diagnosed medical condition would magically disappear, because your stepson decided to play doctor. The police officer taking my statement looked up. Miss Sullivan, we'll need to know if you want to press charges. What your stepbrother did is extremely serious. Tampering with prescription medication, administering unauthorized substances, recording without consent. These are major offenses. My stepmother grabbed my hand. Please, Kate. He meant well. He's young. He made a mistake. A mistake. Dr. Martinez interjected. Your son could have killed her. The combination of substances he gave her could have caused organ failure. This wasn't misguided help. This was calculated harm for social media attention. I closed my eyes, remembering the smug look on Marcus's face as he filmed my breakdown. The weeks of gaslighting, telling me my increasing symptoms were just proof I needed to detox. The way he'd followed me to work, eager to capture my public humiliation for his channel. I want to press charges, I said firmly, opening my eyes. All of them. The next few hours were a blur of police statements, medical examinations, and social workers coming to talk to me. My supervisor called, assuring me my job was safe, and the client had been understanding, even offering to reschedule the presentation once I recovered. But the real shock came when the police searched Marcus's room. They found a journal detailing his wellness transformation plans. I wasn't meant to be his only success story. He had a list of people with various mental health conditions he planned to help, all while documenting their recovery for his growing social media platform. This goes beyond reckless endangerment, the detective told us. This shows premeditation and intent to harm multiple people. Your stepbrother is looking at serious criminal charges. My father and stepmother sat in stunned silence as the evidence mounted. The natural health store Marcus claimed to get the vitamins from didn't exist. Instead, they found receipts for cryptocurrency purchases from dark web pharmaceutical sites. Everything had been carefully planned. Dr. Martinez started me on a proper medication schedule to safely restore my prescribed treatment. Recovery will take time, she explained. Sudden withdrawal followed by unknown substances has put tremendous stress on your system, but we'll get you back on track. As I lay in the hospital bed that night, my phone lit up with a notification. Despite everything, Marcus had managed to upload a video before his arrest. The thumbnail showed me collapsed in the conference room, with the title Big Pharma Exposed. Watch what happens when mental health medication shows its true colors. The comments were already flooding in, people praising him for exposing the truth and saving his sister. None of them knew the real truth, that their wellness guru was sitting in a jail cell, facing charges that could put him away for years. My hands shook as I reported the video, then blocked his channel. The darkness still lingered at the edges of my mind, but for the first time since this nightmare began, I could see a way forward. Marcus had tried to use my illness to make himself famous. Instead, he'd exposed himself as the truly sick one. 6 months after my breakdown, I sat in the courtroom, watching Marcus being led in wearing an orange jumpsuit. The smug wellness guru was gone, replaced by someone who finally looked as scared as he'd made me feel. The evidence against him was overwhelming. The FDA investigation had uncovered his entire operation, multiple offshore accounts, connections to illegal drug manufacturers, and detailed plans for what he called phase 2 of his channel's growth. I wasn't just going to be his first success story, I was meant to be his proof of concept. The defendant systematically poisoned his stepsister with dangerous combinations of unregulated substances, the prosecutor stated. He recorded her deteriorating mental state without consent, planned to profit from her suffering, and had similar plans for other vulnerable individuals. Marcus's lawyer tried to paint him as a misguided young man who genuinely wanted to help people, but the journal entries they found told a different story. Day 15. Kate's showing increased anxiety, perfect for views. Tomorrow I'll switch to the stronger compound, should get some good footage. Day 22. She's barely sleeping, keeps calling her doctor but I intercepted the messages. Need to film her breakdown soon before she figures it out. My stepmother cried throughout the proceedings. My father sat stone-faced, his hand gripping mine tightly. The family that had once dismissed my mental health struggles was finally facing the reality of what their denial had enabled. When it was my turn to give my victim impact statement, I stood steady, my properly regulated medication helping me maintain the clarity I'd been robbed of. My stepbrother didn't just take away my medication, I began. He took away my agency, my stability, and my trust. He filmed my suffering like it was entertainment. He planned to do this to others. This wasn't misguided help, it was calculated cruelty for internet fame. Marcus wouldn't meet my eyes as I spoke. His YouTube channel had been terminated, his wellness blog shut down, but screenshots of his video titles were displayed as evidence. Watch Big Pharma's lies exposed live. My sister's mental health transformation, breaking free from psychiatric control. Each one featured images of me in distress, captured without my knowledge during my worst moments. The judge's verdict was unequivocal. 7 years in prison, no possibility of early release, plus restraining orders preventing him from ever contacting me or creating content about mental health again. The court views your actions as predatory, the judge stated. You exploited your stepsister's condition for personal gain, endangered her life, and planned to victimize others. This sentence reflects the severity of those actions. As Marcus was led away, he finally spoke directly to me. I still think I was right. You'll see someday. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was thinking about my presentation, which I'd successfully delivered 2 weeks ago, after proper medical care restored my stability. About my father, who'd finally started attending therapy to address his own issues with mental health stigma. About my stepmother, who'd begun volunteering at a mental health advocacy group, trying to make amends for her blind support of Marcus's wellness crusade. Most importantly, I thought about the message I'd received from one of Marcus's planned future victim, a young man with anxiety, who'd been following the natural wellness blog. The court proceedings had opened his eyes to the danger of unregulated treatments. He was now getting proper medical care, instead of falling prey to Marcus's scheme. 1 year later, I stood at a mental health awareness conference, sharing my story with others. The scars were still there, but they'd become part of my advocacy. My breakdown video, which Marcus had intended to use as propaganda, was now used in medical schools as an example of the dangers of medication tampering and mental health exploitation. Mental health recovery isn't about breaking free from medication, I told the audience. Sometimes it's about accepting help, whether that's therapy, medication, or both. Don't let anyone shame you for taking care of your mind. My father sat in the front row, nodding. After the event, he hugged me tightly. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, he whispered. You're the strongest person I know. Marcus remains in prison, his dreams of social media fame replaced by mandatory counseling and restrictions on internet access. My stepmother divorced my father, unable to cope with her son's true nature. Last I heard, she'd moved across the country, trying to escape the shadow of what happened. But I'm still here, stronger than ever. My medication sits safely in my bathroom cabinet, properly prescribed, properly regulated, and properly respected. The darkness still creeps in sometimes, but now I have real support, real understanding, and real treatment. Marcus wanted to film my breakdown to prove mental health medication was unnecessary. Instead, he filmed his own downfall, proving only that ignorance and ambition can be a deadly combination. My story wasn't the wellness transformation he planned. It became a warning about the dangers of mental health exploitation and the importance of proper medical care. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even nest, it's getting better, and helping others do the same.